Hello and welcome everyone to Cybercast episode 316, the Transformer and Action Figure podcast show. I'm here with Rick, and where can people find you, man?
Oh yeah, you can find me on Instagram and Twitter, Shatrdglassjazz.
And you can find me, G1 Hextron, on Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram. So we were going to be doing the vintage Joe vehicles from 1992 and 1993, but considering there's just the two of us, I figured we'd hold that off until the next episode whenever we get a couple more people on here. Maybe Chris or Dalton or maybe someone else as well. But what is your figure of the week?
Yeah, so I wanted to talk a little bit about, especially since there's just two of us tonight. Um, Super 7 finally delivered on some things that have been in the works for, it feels like 2 years. I'm pretty sure it's been 2 years. And I'd say, well, let's talk about this guy first. I just pulled one out of the four of the Joe stuff. So, they're doing the Sunbow Joe stuff. And I mean to tell you, like in hand, this is my Cobra Commander. This is exactly what I want out of a Cobra Commander. Its Sunbow is hell.
Is that
So, and
opposable cape?
yeah, it's wired too.
Okay, I like that.
And he's got, I don't know, 15 accessories, like 10 hands. It's everything you want in a Sunbow Cobra Commander. I've messed with the other ones too, but I didn't want to show all that stuff. But I thought Duke turned out looking, especially his face, better than I thought he would. He looks really good. Snake Eyes and Timber, straight out of the show. All the accessories, they do a good job with like detailed accessories from certain episodes. That's kind of one of their things, their animation style, but lots of accessories. But they do come with like some of the accessories from the toys too. So if you like Duke with the backpack and the binoculars and the gun, he does come with some of those things. So you can get a little bit of toy stuff and a little bit of the cartoon. But the other ones that the ones that I was most excited about.
Uh-oh.
So yeah,
I think you went into robot mode, Rick, or maybe there's something wrong with mine. Yeah, Rick, if you can hear me, you froze.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
So this one is bluegrass. Kind of see him all right. And again, like talking about cartoon accuracy and good accessories, good hands, and the paint is good. Everything on it was solid. I didn't have, out of the Joe line and the Silver Hawks, I didn't have any messy paint. So I feel like they took their time at the factory. I know in the past there was some issues with some of the Thundercats. I know some of our group had some issues. I lucked out and didn't, but I know that other people did. But as far as my experience this time, there's no sloppy paint. It's probably the best sculpt work and paint work that I've seen Super 7 do so far. Here's another one. This is Steel Will. I've got him in like a flight stand.
Big boy.
Yeah. And they come with, like, this one, for example, comes with two sets of arms and like two of the birds and stuff and lots of accessories. One of the sets of arms has the wings and the other set doesn't. He's got the little holes cut out right in the shoulder, little tiny ones, and you can put their little laser blast effects in there because they always were shooting, turning to the side and shooting lasers from their shoulders in the show. So they come with those. Um, and the little Marvel, what are they, like the Hasbro Pulse Marvel stands is what I call them. Those flight stands work with these just like they work with the gargoyles. So I'm like, yet another line that I can use those stands on. So I always get happy
Yeah. I always
that they
buy
work
extra of
with.
those stands when
Me
I make an
too.
order. So
Me too. And they look good. Like I think when Quicksilver and Steelheart ship, I like the idea of having them kind of out in the V, like two of them flying out to each side. So that's probably how I'll display them. But Super 7 impressed me. Like I know they catch a lot of flack online, I think, and sometimes for good reason. And their shipping schedule and all that was probably more behind than anyone's in the last few years. Even before the world fell apart, it was already kind of backed up. But when they ship stuff, and like I said, this time, no bad paint. I feel really good about it. I'm actually really excited because I think wave one of the Silverhawks ships in a few weeks. So this was wave two. So we're going to have one and two shipping like within a few weeks of each other. I, for one, like that if you're trying to put together like your core group and stuff like that. And then the other thing was I had heard a rumor that, and this is rumors are all, everywhere, but that they had lost the license to Silverhawks. But I know that Brian just came out and said that they're going to be revealing Wave Four as soon as Wave One gets in everybody's hands.
Hmm.
And I also like that because I remember we gave them hell for putting out, 3 to 4 waves of pre-orders before wave 1 hits your hands, It's just that never feels good. I like the idea of having waves 1 and 2 before we see wave 4. So I do like that he's course correcting that a little bit too.
Excuse me. Art Jordan Art joins us. He says, it sucks that the Cobra Commander didn't come with a hood, but they're going to be double dipping on that figure. So
They probably will. The fact of the matter is nobody's really done the Sunbow cartoon outside of the reaction stuff that's out, and maybe a few figures here and there that look sort of like them. But if they go deep at that price range, and I think for me, I think with Silverhawks, I'm all in because I want all of them, and there's not that many with the villains and stuff. But with Joe, I'm going to be cherry picking, and it's going to have to be my favorites. It's not going to be all of them. Not like I do the classified series. I do all of the classified series so far. We'll see how that goes.
all right, so I'm going to show two things. One, I finally got it. I mean, this was one of your figures of the year, if not your top, I believe.
Yeah.
Well, my pre-order was a little later, so I just got it. So it's definitely going to be one of my figures of the year for this year. So again,
Yeah.
there's going to be a couple of things that I'm behind on where you guys had them on your. I think this happened last time as well. So, but Serpentor finally came in. Haven't got him open and put together yet. I don't know if I made this one of my figures of the week. I think Needle Nose did it last time. Um, but I did want to show this off. This is my first one of these Four Horsemen Mythic Legions figures, and I've been playing a lot of Diablo, and so the Sorceress and
Looks
Necromancer and
awesome.
stuff like that. So she's got these like 6 hands, and she's got these blades and a bow and these little hanging things, and it's got chains, like real chains,
Yeah,
so
it looks
real
good.
metal, not just painted chrome or anything like that. There's wires all in this, all on her belt. All these arms are articulated, just awesome looking. So
Is that 6-inch scale? Like some are taller, some are shorter, but around the 6-inch scale.
I'd say 7 inch
Okay.
because she's female and she would fit in with those Super 7 size.
Gotcha.
So
Yeah.
because I'm looking at here and she's taller than the guy Joe's. So
Yeah.
by a little bit, and that's without the extra helmet and everything. So um, let's see. Art says, "How does the Super 7 Cobra Commander look with the classified Serpentor?"
Good question. I haven't tried. I mean, I have both of them in this room, but I'll have to look and tell you next time.
All right, so we got quite a bit. Like I said, there's just the two of us, so we're not going to be doing the vintage Joe vehicles. One, Art said just everything because I said the years. He said everything is C tier, so he's probably not wrong. Let's see. Tough Medicine joins us as well. Thanks for joining us. We're going to get into some screen share, and did they? Okay. it's like every time I get on this thing, like they have switched some buttons around to where I'm like, what? It used to be so simple, but starting off with the Transformers, Hasbro, Takara stuff. Um, I don't know how interested you are in this, or if there's some stuff that you're selective about. Me, if it wasn't in the cartoon, I don't really care. And even if it was in the cartoon, if it's just something like Golden Lagoon where they were that for one episode, I don't really care.
Yeah.
Is the way I kind of look at it. So
Yeah, I cherry pick a lot of the stuff. Like this is the Walmart con stuff, the G2 stuff, G2 theming colors. Um, I ordered I think 3 of these, so I don't know if there was more than 3. I can't remember, but I might pick a whole wave of them up. It just depends. Like with the other ones, the Speedia, Velocitron stuff. I think I picked all of them up, and I actually like them. It does it for me. It helps freshen up Transformer shelves a little bit, just because it feels a little more fresh to me. Sometimes I like when they go and do it all. It doesn't mean I'm going to buy all of them, but if I see one, I'll probably pick it up.
like Cloud
I know I
Cover,
ordered.
to be honest, I don't even know who that is. So
Yeah, I think they're like unproduced, I believe, or like maybe
okay,
concepts for G2 that didn't come out, I believe. I haven't been as heavy into Transformers as I once was, but I just kind of keep up a little bit. But I ordered this. I thought it looked cool.
it's cool that the packaging looks kind of G2ish
Yeah,
as
like it's
well.
got the
I
toxitron,
mean,
toxic kind of.
if the boxes and cards were better materials, then I don't know, maybe it'd be worth keeping the boxes, but
Yeah,
I'll just throw them away.
totally. Yeah, these days I throw all that stuff away.
I even look at the even like dude, this they had to go look for this because every time I go into like a Walmart or Target, these flaps are always bent. I see the vintage Star Wars where the card was just crumpled today, and I'm
Yeah,
like, you're trying to market those as like this is for collectors in case you want to keep them on card. I'm like, yeah, but when
yeah,
they're in the store and they're already like I mean crunched, you know. Um, this reminds me back whenever Toys R Us was around. One of the assistant managers there, if he opened a case and knew that it was something that people might keep on card, he still had to put it on a peg. He would make sure that it was barely poking through the peg, just in case some of those people wanted unpunched, they could still have that. Like it was that little
yeah,
extra, that like some people like Toys R Us, that I don't want to say that, there weren't people that just went there to, get a job or whatever, but like some of the
yeah,
managers, like they would make sure like there was a little bit of extra love put into them. And also the material of the packaging was better back
yeah,
then too. So,
yeah. I mean, I guess it's cool that they're doing these with the, I guess the different colors and stuff, but still making G1 sculpts available for, I guess, new fans or fans that maybe don't have the originals, or maybe even completionists. There's still a ton of completionists out there, but they're not for me.
on the Hound,
Hmm.
pretty sure that you could probably buy a junker G1 that has some good chrome and swap those
Yeah.
out if you wanted to.
Yeah, I don't know what the prices go for anymore. I've had mine for a long time, and he's over on the shelf. And
Now
I mean, I
these
love
aren't
him. I love
aren't
I
going to have
love
any
those
die
figures.
casts, and the original was a darker color green too.
Yeah, yeah, they're just trying to make it a little more accurate, I think, to the 3 seconds that he's in the movie. 2 seconds. So I like the Toxitron out of the Laser Prime and stuff like that. I don't mind that they do those repaints. I think it's cool. I have the BotCon one or whatever, the club one, whatever. It's cool.
And I guess that's the only pictures you get of the Grimlock. Well,
I
to,
don't know if he went up or not. I think it was maybe the other 3. I don't know.
and Toe Line, get some mystery machine vibes off that. I don't know if that's what they're going for, but Randy Books joins us. What's up, man? I haven't really bought into any of these like little part forming guys.
Yeah,
Except,
I just got this one in. I think like a day or two ago. I haven't messed with them much. I've kind of put them in a bin and I put it off to the side until I get a chance to transform them all. Big Bad sent everything at once. I think they sent me in my box. I think there were, and it wasn't even a pile of loot. It was just like, hey, these all came in. I think I had 10 Transformers in one box. It's the most I've gotten in a while.
hey, we can finally complete Minosaur. No,
Yeah.
no danger of this thing falling back. Yeah, look at those. Yeah, those sleds.
Yeah. He's stable.
And bringing back the gaming stuff, which that's kind of a surprise.
Yeah. Excellent games for the time. I mean, still pretty good. I got the 360 versions, and we played right before I moved. I think my kid and I played it for maybe like 2 hours one day because he hadn't seen it and he really liked it. So I kept it. I actually bought a new 360 controller, and I think we're going to end up putting that system upstairs. But yeah, I like the games. I just didn't feel like I needed the figures. That's all. Like I bought those figures once or twice already, and I still
Yeah.
have them. They're not displayed or anything currently. They're in bins, but I just don't feel like I need them like again. That's all. But I always liked the designs, and I thought those games were so cool.
Yeah, the games were fun. I miss the multiplayer. Me and Dakota, we'd play the multiplayer quite a bit
Hmm.
until we were the only people in the lobby. Like we would just wreck people, and then they'd quit playing and go play something else. And we thought that was fun. Yeah, make them quit because whenever we play multiplayer games, we're all like, yeah, make them quit, make them quit. But then if you make everyone quit, then there's no one to play with anymore. So
Right.
they made him a beefy boy.
Yeah.
Said barricade looks like Batmobile. I could see that. It looks
Oh yeah, totally.
like some of the designs that like they've done with the Batmobile before.
Yep.
And Snarl, we're getting closer to being complete.
Yeah, much closer.
Dude, Swoop, he better have some giant wings. And little dude. You know what I saw in Walmart?
Cool.
I didn't even know that it was in 4K, but 86 Transformers the movie. It
Yeah.
was there in Walmart. It was $20. It was kind of expensive
Yeah.
for that, but
I bought it sometime.
4K
I
and
want to
Blu-ray.
say last year. Yeah, there was like a steelbook version somewhere I bought. That's cool. I think I've only watched it maybe twice.
My nephew, he loves the Dinobots. That did
Oh
I
yeah.
tell you about like I think I was telling my mom I'm like I know because I was watching through G1 again. Almost finished season two. I'm gonna go through the entire stuff through the Japanese again because it's been a while since I've watched.
Yeah.
And he he I was like, who does he sound like? And when I watched it, I hear Grimlock, and I'm like, that's who my nephew is like talking like. Like he's been watching Transformers, and he loves Grimlock and the Dinobots, and he talks like them.
Yeah, I
So
think
these
all the
little three
kids go through
packs,
Dino phases. Dinosaur faces.
Oh yeah, dude, he loves dinosaurs and then transform and stuff. And then this is gonna be a 2-pack. Look at that giant cheetah next to those
I know.
cars.
Yeah, the scale is crazy.
And this one here. And Armada, Optimus Prime. Do you like the Armada stuff? I don't care for it.
Yeah, I still do. Yeah, it got it. I mean, I got the RID stuff when it was out, but like when Aaron Archer was on the Armada stuff, I really got back into everything. I think I bought all the Armada toys, and that was a tall order back in the day. I still have them. I haven't gotten rid of any. I made sure I took the batteries out of most of them. I think I got all of them out, and got quite a few batteries in these things. Lots of electronics.
I
But I
like the
still like a lot of
Starscream
the
design.
sculpts.
I
Yeah,
just
and
never cared for
they've
the other
redone
ones.
that. I think there's like 3 or 4 versions of that now. They've definitely done that design again. I didn't care for the cartoon. I know some people like the cartoon. I never cared for those cartoons that much, but I did like the toys. That Galaxy Force Optimus is still one of my favorite designs, like the original toy. Cybertron stuff. I mean, a lot of the primes I really like.
That that Rodimus and Motormaster, they look so good in their robot forms there.
Yeah,
That Motormaster is great. Like, if
I
it
love
wasn't
him.
for
Yeah,
needing the space, I don't even think I'd put him in Minosaur mode. I would just leave because the Motormaster looks so good individually in his robot mode.
yeah. I keep them in car mode, and I do have like the whatever the fans toys versions. I have those in the robot modes on like the masterpiece shelf, but the other ones like the new mainline Stunnercons, I keep them in car mode. I thought they did such a good job with the car modes overall. Breakdown was the only one that I didn't feel like passed the test, but even he, like when you put them all together, it helps bring him up a little bit. Yeah, they certainly been giving the Armada stuff some treatments because they did that Titan Metroplex and Hot Shot and Starscream a few times now. They've done a few.
It kind of looks weird with this thing hanging back here. Is that for stability?
I don't know. I hadn't really seen these pictures before. I haven't been keeping up with it as much as I used to.
Uh, one of the things I'd ever buy into is whenever they do their little watches or shoes or
Yeah,
like this cameras, like it looks
yeah,
silly.
that's not my thing either. I mean, I get it. I like that the disguise looks authentic. I appreciate that, but I don't need to collect it.
I'm like, you just gotta be a big fan of Canon cameras and Transformers to want this, I guess. And here's a movie masterpiece. I've always liked the colors on the Nemesis.
No, yeah.
The black, red, and teal. A little bit of silver in there.
I don't do the movie masterpiece except for I have the core Autobots from the first movie, and I have Megatron and Barricade from the first movie, but that's where I stopped it. They're okay. I mean, the ones I have. The Jazz is really the one that I really like the most.
was playing with this Diablo group, and they were like, what's the G1 mean? And I was like, do you know Transformers? It's for like Generation One. And then you know what they immediately started talking about as soon as I said Transformers? The Michael Bay movies.
Yeah.
Like, yeah,
Yeah.
like the casuals, that's what they know, man.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah. Movies and TV and stuff like that. It's out there.
Uh, how do you feel about this thing? Because
I I think
I'm
it's
not gonna
fine.
get
Like
it.
I know some people were asking for it, so I think it's good that they look. The mold was there, and also the mold is good. And the other thing I'll say is like the play pattern of the fortress portion of it. You know, the base and the rocket. It's super awesome. Like of all of the play sets that I've put together and put out, I remember my kid really responded to this one, and it could have been the timing because it was a few years ago. He responded the most to this one, and at the time, they were still making all the little, the mini guys and stuff.
Yeah.
So I think we had like 20 of those out on the table, and when you have like 20 of them in a base, it's just so much fun. So I like that they did it again. I think it makes sense for them.
I would have liked them to do Leo Kaiser though.
Oh yeah, like a brand new something from Victory, of course.
All right, so TFCon panel. I haven't looked at any of these, so this is going to be completely fresh to me. I'm sure it is to you too.
Yeah.
So I guess these are just little ball joint guys. There's you a jazz. There you go. Randy says he bought the 3.0 Optimus and it's really good.
Yeah, that's cool.
Those 3.0s, they're up there. What the heck is this?
At first, I thought that said Astro Boys. I was like, it's an interesting name.
All right, so I guess they're coming out with more. Do they transform, or is this a comic? I guess it is.
Looks like I thought I saw something. Yeah, I see like Josh Perez's name on
Yeah,
there,
I see
Bertram.
Josh Perez on it.
Yeah, I think I saw Simon Furman on the slide before, so that's cool. I like all those guys. I mean, love their art and their story. So
Magic Square. There you go. She's wearing her little bikini.
oh yeah.
I think it's so weird that she has a belly button.
Every time
That's
I
It's giving
every
like
time I see this,
2013 Cybercast vibe.
yes, that's all I think is like it's the thumbnail from like 2013, 2014 maybe.
I think we used around that time every single chibi photo
Yeah.
as the thumbnail that was available. Like I ran out of them. Long time viewers will remember those days. No, for a smaller guy, he didn't look too bad.
No, these all look really good.
We always see these repaints, but Do we ever see Ultra Magnus without his armor? I can't remember in the cartoon.
I don't know in the cartoon, and definitely in the Dreamwave comics, there's tons of art like of him bursting out of his
Is there? Okay, so
armor
that's
and
what
stuff.
it's got to be relating to then.
I mean, I can't remember it in the cartoons.
Okay,
Yeah, I
Art
don't
says
think.
only in the comics. I thought
Yeah,
this was interesting that they did this, like you're obviously going to get the Power Glide, and then uh I don't remember what that's from, but the little Cobra one that Hasbro did
yeah,
a while
yeah,
back, that they're like, hey, we're gonna make that recolor as well.
yeah. Oh, that's cool that they're doing that. That's from early on in the
Autobot
G1
Spike,
stuff,
yeah,
right? Yeah,
I think that's season one.
I think so.
Yeah, like at the end of season one. I just watched it, so watching through it, man, there's so many episodes. A season two is like season three. Like there's so many episodes in the season that I'm like, I love that episode. But there are so
Yeah,
many in there that I'm like, oh my God, that was filler.
yeah. Always watch with with a kid's eye still. Like my point, I still can remember watching it, when it originally aired, a lot of them. And it reminds me of like, it would air and then you go to like Ames or Roses or wherever, Toys R Us. And the weekend that the Insecticons were on the show, about the same exact time, you could go to the store and buy all 3 of them, and that stays with me no matter how old I get. I remember watching the cartoon and being able to go to buy the product as they introduced them on the show. It's really interesting the way that they marketed back then. I remember asking when I think it was Mike had done a show and Kirk Ozigian was on there, and we were asking him questions about, as they were doing the cartoons and they were rolling out the product of the new Joes, was it strategically planned so that the weekend or week that the miniseries came on, that it would be in the store? And I remember he said they tried their best, but it was always luck, like pure luck when they hit it right on the head. And they hit it on the head like often. You
Yeah,
think
because
about
some of
that
the
these
episodes
days.
are out of order too.
Yeah, you think about it these days, and you'll watch, just as an example, an episode of Mandalorian in 2020, and you won't get figures for it possibly until 2022, last part of 2021. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that was really interesting the way they did, and that's the way the brain works too. That's why like the end caps at the register always did so well for grocery stores. You know what I'm saying? That's the way our brains work. It's topical. So if you see an episode and you love the Insecticons or Devastator or Dinobots, you go to the store. If they're right there to purchase, you're probably going to spend your money more often than not. So
These three are some of the best looking designs. I, I love them. I mean, just
yeah,
the way that they made them back
yeah.
then for the
I don't have
movie.
the Scourge. I need the Scourge. I have the Galvatron and the Cyclonus, but I don't have the Scourge. I was starting to get out of the third party stuff. I mean, I still have most of them, but
Oh, there you go, Dakota. I actually like that. That looks cool. And is this a big boy? Looks like it. This is who did the Unicron?
yeah, but don't they like keep renaming themselves? I always feel like they're like the fugitive on the run and they have to keep changing their name so that they can put out product and stuff. Like I have the Studio Cell Unicron. And I love it. Like I think it's awesome. I'm never going to transform it. But I keep it in Unicron mode, and it looks like straight up, out of the movie.
Dude, he is flat. I mean, I know people don't like kibble, but I mean, he's just
Yeah.
a flat looking boy. Metagate, I've never even heard of them.
Yeah, me neither.
Is this a small one?
I don't know. I hate when they don't show me scale, unless we know we know Iron
Where's
Factory,
the
we know
old
Magic
days where they
Square.
would just put a pack of cigarettes up there and
Yeah, yeah.
Iron Factory still cranking them out, man, with their unique designs.
Mhm. Yeah. There's a bunch of cool ones in this batch.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, I do like that. Ooh, does that mean are they doing the whole group? Nice. Yep. Now, hey, somebody's gonna have to let me know when this goes up. Dalton, if you're watching this later, somebody let me know when the pre-orders go up for this boy. I'll probably get that.
Oh, Death Cobra too.
Yep.
That's awesome. I mean, we keep on saying it for Hasbro. I mean, at least somebody's listening. So
Yeah.
I've never understood these. Was it half Transformer, half human?
Yeah.
Now, will you be getting the fans hobby since you bought a couple? Get the Hydra Busta?
No, I'm not getting those. I mean, I think they're cool, but I don't need them. I remember when I got Double Evil, I was more into third-party stuff. And I think that's the only one I got. I might have gotten one more, but no more than two. I liked it. I mean, I thought the Double Evil was well done. I liked the way it felt. It felt different from. I mean, I liked their feel. Back then, they were doing a lot of the chunky guys,
Yeah.
but I just not as into it as I used to be. Armada seems to be getting more attention. I messed with that Armada. I don't even can remember if they called him Jetfire then or not. I think they did, but I messed with that toy not too long ago.
Hmm. What is this? Spectron Lab? Okay, so that's a big one. Randy says 3 more releases, and I think I'm done with Transformers finally. Which 3 releases are you waiting for? Also, he's Masterpiece Skull. Oh, the Fans Toy Combiners. Okay. So they'll finish this the end of 2024.
Always like Mastermind Creations. They did a lot of the
Love the
IDW
colors on him.
comic stuff that I liked.
That's for Dalton.
Yeah, I'm not into that.
Looks a little weird.
Yeah, I like my boy more rectangular.
A little boxy, like this guy here.
Always liked the Fensor. Whenever there was an episode of the cartoon and he would come on, I'm like, yes, I would just be so excited as a kid. He didn't get a whole lot of time. He got a few episodes.
Yeah, season 2, like whenever the Stunnicons enter in, like, dude, it gets really good.
Yeah, the Key to Vector Sigma episodes with the Aerobots and
Yeah.
the Stunnicons are really good. And then Starscream's Brigade with the Combaticons. I love that stuff. Anytime they go to Cybertron and Shockwave gets some screen time, I like that too.
Yeah, I like it whenever they were in space. I got a little tired of the on Earth, like here's this new energy source. They fail.
Yeah.
Autobots rally, and just some of the cases there. What are those little trains? There you go, Dalton. You can have yourself a Raiden. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, I thought that was. I think that was one of the exclusives or the exclusive. I don't know. Pretty cool.
I mean, that's got to be its own mold too for getting exclusive, where it's a new mold,
Yeah.
or at least, I mean, I
Some
assume it's a
retooling.
new mold. Looks
Yeah.
like it.
Yeah, you don't see much from that era either.
I mean, we keep seeing third-party stuff, but like you said, like I don't think it's as popular as it was
No.
8 years ago, even.
Oh no. Yeah,
Like I
it's
think that
not.
was like its hype.
Yep.
Uh,
Yeah. And you could, I mean, there were so many little pockets, with Mastermind Creations doing the IDW comic book stuff for More Than Meets the and Lost Light, and then you could go over to Fans Hobby doing their own thing, and then you could be doing the big masterpiece scale. You'd be doing the little guy stuff when Iron Factory and Magic Square came on the scene. I mean, it was a ton of stuff. You had to start choosing.
and
And
you've even lost some of the brands that were some of the bigger ones, like Make Toys.
yeah, some of them
Remember having a
along the
few of
way.
theirs.
Hmm.
Remember
Yeah.
iGear was like a kind of a bigger name back then too.
Hmm. Yep. Fans Toys has made it through, but I don't know how much. I don't know how much longer it'll be going on.
Yeah.
Competition's always good, so it had to happen.
Then you get some. Well, I assume it's a new company. They've released a couple of things that we've seen, but coming out with an all gold Predaking.
Lucky draw combiners. I've lived long enough to see that now, I guess.
Oh, this is the one where he comes with like more beasts than just the original five. Isn't it like seven or something like that?
I think so.
So yeah, I'm looking at that. I'm like, I don't even know who that is. Uh, is that one of the new ones, or is that
Yeah, I
supposed
don't
to be
know.
Rampage or something? Kind of looks like a fox. A little crab thing. Yeah, so
You can
one,
always see
two,
Dive Bomb. He's an easy one to spot.
eight.
And
It's
usually,
eight.
usually Razor Claw you can find. It's a lot.
Dude. I remember having the Mastermind Creations one and being like, boy, that's a chunky boy.
I still have him. I don't think, do I have him up? I have him up in the other room, actually. I don't have him in this room. But yeah, I still have him. And I have the newest Hasbro one. It's all right.
Dude, you got a couple of transforms until that stuff starts flaking off, I would think.
Oh yeah.
Randy says pass.
Yeah.
And Art says,
Uh,
yeah, surprisingly, it's not much bigger than the Toy World Devi.
this is one of those ones I'll always say when I'm interested in seeing how many units sold. That's one that I would love to see a follow up at the end. I'd even put money on it. Do you think it's more than 150 units?
I mean, you got to think that they got to
I
sell
know
more than that to make
I
it
know, but
worthwhile to do, right?
how many people do you know that would? I just don't know anyone. I mean, I don't know everyone, but
Here's
I
the
don't
thing,
know. We've
it's going
been
to be one of those things to where if it's picked up by like BBTS or something like that, to where the company's going to require them to buy so many units, right? And it's one of those things to where maybe not this Christmas, but the next one, it'll be one of those to where it's like, hey, it's our Christmas sale, $50 off this thing, you
All
know?
right, how about I'll say only 150 completed combiners. So someone who stays with it and buys all of them, because I'm assuming it's not a box set, right? Are they individual releases?
Now these other ones I
Because
think are individual releases, but maybe the all gold one is maybe a box set,
is a box set.
maybe, or at least they sell them together. You know,
How
even
much
if
would that?
they're. And Randy says, that stuff's very popular where it's made. So
Yeah, yeah. If you guys in the chat have any more info about like how many units they're selling, I'm just curious. Just being
well,
a fan of this stuff for so many
Art
years,
Art
I'm
says
just
he goes, I'm
curious.
ashamed to say, but I bought the original colored release. So
Oh yeah, man. I mean, if you enjoy it, it's all about what you enjoy, at the end of the day.
yeah, because I remember this went back whenever Mastermind Creations came out with theirs, which was a little. It wasn't as drastic as this, but it was a little bit more stylized, I guess you could say. To
Yeah.
where at the same time there was unique toys that came
Yep.
out to where it was kind of simple and it
It was
looked.
horrible. I had
I think it
I
looked like
bought
horrible. I
I
remember
bought one
Paul.
one or two of them, and then I threw them in the trash. I literally threw them in the trash can.
I remember Paul, he would have this argument with me that I was like, well, I said, I decided to go Mastermind Creations because I was like, and this was when I was buying third party, you know, every once in a while. And I was like, I liked it that it was stylized a little bit because I just thought it looked better. It was just a better looking product, in my opinion, individual and, combined. And he was like, no, it looks better. The unique toys is better because it looks G1 but with articulation. And I'm like,
Boy, you won that conversation for sure.
I was like, I don't even know how to argue with you about this.
Yeah, the Mastermind Creations I always liked it. I still like it.
Or says, I was kind of suckered into buying it. It was during their silhouette days where they didn't show the full combiner till they were three figures in. And what's sad is three figures in, you're not even halfway with eight. Like normally combiners, you'd at least be halfway, if not majority of the way there. With that one, you got eight figures. Now this says this is a masterpiece scale G1 bulkhead. A what? There was no G1 bulkhead, was there? I
No.
thought we didn't see him until Prime, or maybe he came before that, but I never remembered a bulkhead in G1.
Mm-mm.
They just kept adding members. Oh God, I mean, I can imagine like what it was, but like you're buying them individually, and you're like, okay, well that's Razor Claw, okay, well that's Tantrum, and like,
You're
all right,
like,
that's
who's
Dive Bomb,
who's
and then
this
all of a
guy?
sudden, like your next one is like it's a Gorilla, and you're like, wait, what? What did I buy?
Right.
Man, this I don't know if you can hear him. This dog is nuts. There's people just walking down the street or walking their kids, and he goes crazy. Uh, Mechanical Shell Studio.
People loving that Armada stuff.
I mean, but Hasbro just came out with a bigger one.
Yeah.
And then Iron Warrior.
You don't see a lot of Prime stuff.
Oh, I don't know if the Armada thing was Chuck skill though. My bad, my bad. No, they don't show this thing transformed.
I still like that Prime series. The music was really good. Since then, Brian Tyler that did that music, because I bought the soundtrack a long time ago. He's gone on to do everything. He's like making almost everything now. He's in any big movie you look at. His name's usually part of it. We were lucky to have some good people on that series.
No, this is a Legend scale Metroplex. Artist says APC Toys is releasing a lot of Transformer Prime figures.
That's cool.
Whoa, whoa, whoa! What am I seeing here? $184? Wait, this one says Australia. Was 45 cent. I have no idea how tall that is. 20 points of articulation. I don't know. There's two different things here. One's saying 184 plus shipping, at least in Australia, and then this person's saying 137 US. Metroplex is 18 inches. Okay, thank you. New Age Toys. Oh, you gotta beat up Grimlock. For this is for Dalton. Remember when Triptychon went invisible? When he was a little chibi, like he got mutated and he went invisible.
Wasn't he? He was the Nemesis too in the video games, right? Maybe he had like a. Did he have like a cloaking mode when he turned into like the ship? I'm just reaching, trying to make something plausible out of thin
In
air.
the game, did he?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just reaching to help those fellas out.
Jolly Rancher Triptychon. They're even making a pink colored one.
Oh, perfect.
Is the Transformers ever gonna end?
I
Transformers
look.
never dies. There's
That's
the
that's
pink
a
one.
Randy just read my mind. I was already. I was like, is this the close to the last Transformers path? Randy's just
We
speaking
gotta
the
be
truth.
done here, right?
He's speaking the truth. when we get to the pink and blue translucent popsicle transformers, Randy's had enough.
He's like, just the rest of the Transformer tabs, just X them. Let's move on to G.I. Joe, okay?
Oh, that's some good Joe stuff coming up.
Art said that's how you get your girlfriend into collecting. Dude, if you show your girlfriend that, it's like, all right, well, let me show you what I'm into, you know? She might be like, no. All right, so this is little bitty dudes.
The only way to get your girlfriend or wife into stuff these days is if it's about true crime. Like if you had Nightbeat and he had like came with some body bags and like some detective work, you might get someone interested. It's all about the podcast and the true crime.
Now, okay, so here's something we can if we get the time, we can talk about it during this, because we're just flipping through stuff while, just we talk. If you were trying to get your significant other, not necessarily into collecting, but to be at least be like, okay, that's cool. I see why you do it or whatever. Like, what's a couple pieces that you would show them? Like you wouldn't pull out this and be like, look how cool this is, because one, you don't know if she likes Transformers. She might, why is it, really small? Like that's not what you show them. Especially you would show them that translucent pink chibi Triptychon.
No.
Like
For
you've got to be deep in it for years to be like, this is just something that they do. Like they're gonna make everything translucent at one point. Everything's gonna have a chibi thing. Like it's just gonna happen. We've already looked at this.
Yeah, and there's at least three different scales. For me, the only way to get my wife into anything is about the media. And if the media is good, if the storytelling is good, she'll understand it, and it, she'll never want to collect it. But she appreciates it if she comes in on the media and the media is good. So automatically, like Transformers, I'll tell you this: we sat down to watch stuff, whether it's my kid or my wife. Transformers Prime, my wife was into it, and we watched it together. And that is the only one that she's gotten into. My kid likes Earthspark.
I think if, like you said, if there was media, so one, look at it. I hate that I was only limited to two. I wanted four, but this guy looks really good.
Oh yeah, the Range Viper for classified. Yeah, I hated that I have to get two and then just get them later. They'll be available. You'll be able to get to the three if you want three or whatever. But yeah, I hate when they. First of all, let's back up a step. Why? Because look, I always on this show I always talk good about classified for the most part. We've had our ups and downs through the years, but lately I like a lot of their stuff and what they're doing. But this was a step backwards, right? Because here we go with a
A troop
trooper,
builder.
troop builder, and it's a Walmart, the worst of the worst place you could put it. That's the worst place you could put it, at Walmart. So,
Because it's
I mean,
blue.
I just don't understand, man. But I don't, it was easy to get. I was able to get in and get what I wanted. We'll see if they cancel it or not later. But
They
I
will.
just don't like when they do that. Night Force, I get it. Like if Tiger Force is at Target, then I guess Night Force is going to be um, at Walmart.
Yeah, well, Walmart.
It's
That makes more sense.
it makes a little bit more sense. But it's whatever. They were at least easy to pre-order, so I'll give them that. At least for me, it was.
All right, so I think that if you're trying to get someone interested, not necessarily like, oh, like, hey, I want to be part of, your collecting or whatever, or what'd you get in this week? Just be like, I understand. That's all you're looking for, is like, I understand. I
Yep.
get it. I
Yep.
think you have to have some media to it. So,
Yep.
like, if they could watch the Tim Burton Batman movies,
Yep.
and then they see as like, all right, so you see that, we watch that, and then you take them and you let them look at your Hot Toys Michael Keaton Batman, and then the Batmobile that's coming out, which I got pre-ordered, happy about that. I think they could look at that and be like, that's pretty cool, because
Yep.
there's media attached to it.
Yeah.
Maybe
And
like the
I've seen
Star
people come
Wars, like if
in.
they liked the Star Wars, to where you could be like, here's some figures from that, and be like, I understand
Yep.
it.
Yep. There's an opportunity for everything for people to kind of understand what's going on as long as the media is there. But I will say, if you were to take something like G.I. Joe classified right now, if these characters and these figures were a part of a Netflix series, episodic, that you have more of a chance of getting them in and actually maybe wanting to collect a character or two. I think real people, whether it's a Ninja or Scrap Iron, whomever, Chuckles or Big Ben or Snake Eyes. I think you have more chance of getting them into that because with the media, you can have a backstory, you know. With robots, it's a little bit harder. I've always found it hard for anyone I was dating through the years, anyone to get into Transformers. The Michael Bay stuff, at least like the first film,
I
I
don't
know
think
a
that
few
helped.
people I know a few people who liked females who liked the movie and they understood what Transformers was, but that didn't mean that they were interested in it. They weren't going to collect it.
Yeah.
But if they can identify with a character, whether it's a male character or a female, as a part of GI Joe and going on special missions and getting a backstory about them or their family or maybe where they used to work before they got into, you know, this stuff, or you have a better chance of getting them interested. And maybe there's a desk toy or something, you know, that they like, a strong female character. You have a better chance, but there is no media for Joe right now. There's none, and
Also,
this
uh,
Snake Eyes movie doesn't count. That's not real GI Joe. That's
yeah,
just ninja stuff.
every once in a while they release or NECA has like video game figures, to where maybe they don't play video games, but I know HBO released, the Last of Us. I just watched it this week, and every time
Yeah,
I watch it, I'm like, this is the video game.
yeah,
Like
it's awesome.
like all the scenes, these are all from the video game.
And
You
the
know,
guy that did the game is 100% working on the show, so it makes
I
sense.
remember all the scenes and set pieces and everything.
Yeah,
All the buildings, like even the lodge. I'm like,
yep.
that is the layout because
E-
you did that boss fight.
Even the
With
lighting on the close-up scenes that matter, like the dialogue that really matters from the game, the lighting and stuff is duplicated almost like to a T. It's really cool what they're doing. They had certain standards and they were like, we're going to keep the standards. So we're going to elaborate on some characters. We're going to show a little bit more story. They even took the bonus level of the remastered game and gave that an entire episode
Yeah, I
with the
didn't care
mall
for
and
that
the
one, but
carousel.
yeah.
Man, if they could do like GI Joe and give me some special missions with Snow Job and show the Range Vipers and all these like rock and roll. I mean, you could get a lot of people interested in this stuff if you had special missions and gave the characters time to breathe on screen. GI Joe would be a lot bigger than just, you know, these 40 to 60-year-old men buying stuff that they remember from their childhoods. I mean, it could be so much better, but they're missing the mark because of the media. We've said this for long as I've been on the show.
Let's see. Art says it would have to be my masterpiece figures or the original G1 figures. Uh, See, again, I think Transformers, that's a hard sell for someone that maybe not be into kind of like
Yeah,
the nerd culture. Um,
you know, something that's easy. This is easy. I have in the our movie room we have well, I have horror figures. Some of it's just NECA, but some of it is like 1/6 scale. Um, I found that multiple females, like horror stuff. They they would be more inclined to have like a Ghostface NECA figure or a Dracula, like a Universal monster figure, you know, like that 7-inch scale. I've gotten multiple people saying, "Wow, that looks really cool," or like, I really like that. That's something that I really like." And my wife will tolerate that stuff a little more easily too. But that's a mark. Again, I go back to that true crime stuff. Like there's certain things that I found that they just seem to gravitate to, but robots is just not one of them, at least for the majority.
Randy says my wife tells me how stupid buying toys is all the time.
Yeah, I think we've all had our moments with good and bad feedback.
And he says, but there's a way to get your wife not to complain about your toys. So, see, I'm trying to, let's see. I think it would be hard to, So they would need to be a little bit into the nerd culture a little bit. Like so Star Wars, like most people have seen Star Wars, whether you know it just came on, like I remember like Star Wars would just come on all the time on regular television when we were kids. Um, so let's say that they've at least seen Star Wars movies, uh, that I think if you could be like, all right, listen, it's a cartoon series, but they're really well developed characters and there's, strong female characters. And you said, give Clone Wars a try. Just try it out. And I think if you could get them to watch that, then I think anyone, like if they were already like, I know about Star Wars, I've seen the movies a couple of times, that Clone Wars, like, hey, you don't have to know everyone. Like there's
Yeah.
Anakin, and you'll learn as you go. Like you can just come in completely fresh if you wanted to and learn as you go. Um, that you could see the character of Ahsoka and see how well she's developed, and then you could be like, and these are my Ahsoka figures. And they could be like, that's cool, you
Yeah,
know.
absolutely. Absolutely. Erica hasn't seen, my wife hasn't seen all of the Clone Wars, but I've shown her key episodes through the years, important ones, the big ones. And so nowadays, with Ahsoka getting ready to happen and Filoni being, putting it into live action now, she's up to date on it. And I remember watching the Tales of the Jedi, my kid and my wife and I watched those, and everybody was moved. We all were emotional and emotionally invested, whether it was Dooku or Ahsoka in the Tales of the Jedi. They were both well done stories. So I agree. Like Star Wars is a little easier as long as you know which way to go. Like Ahsoka's like that's a gem because they spent so much time on her backgrounds and stuff. But um,
I just think
the
it's easier than
classified
it would
stuff,
be like Masters of the Universe. Like what do you have
yeah,
there to show that's
yeah,
it's cartoon, and then the movie is so
yeah.
far removed from what the original content actually was.
Hey, for pause for a sec. Go back to that screen where all of them up. What did you think of the classified?
Okay.
I thought that this was the best classified reveal stream that we've ever had. When you look at that group shot, I think you had maybe 8 pictures up at once.
Yeah, so you had the Valkyries, Snow Job, uh was the deluxe guy,
The scrap iron with the
scrap iron
huge
guy,
vehicle. Yeah.
bazooka,
And then
I mean, yeah,
they
like
showed the
every
rock
single
and
one of them,
roll.
you're like, I want every single one of them. To where like on this
Yeah.
one, like there's just four, and I'm like, I'm not buying him. That's some Pursuit of Cobra
He's
thing or whatever. I don't care.
he's super popular. He's going to sell. And I'll tell you what I like about him because I know you and I don't see eye to eye on this one. He is them saying, "Look, we're finally going to give you a few characters that weren't in the 82 to 94 lineup. We're finally going to do that." And I like that because, like in the comics, they're going to be giving us Agent Helix from the comics. So we're finally, now that we're what, 60 figures in, now we're starting to, every once in a while, you're going to get one figure from the comics or another place. I dig that. But they're still giving us like all the popular. I looked and I was like, man, they got the Firefly that I want. They got Low Light. We're getting the Snow Job, Scrap Iron. I think
I
they
like
took
Tunnel Rat
Scrap
too.
Iron. I think the scrap iron that they've done, they took someone who we rarely saw and they really gave him like an A level treatment. If you look at the scrap iron and all the deluxe stuff he comes with, they took him and somebody really liked scrap iron there. That's what I would say. They just really
See
did
if
it up
there's
with
any
him. I
more.
was so impressed. Every once in a while, you'll see one or two that are
The
just above
Shipwreck.
the others.
What's this? I forget this guy's name.
Rock and roll, yeah, they
Yeah,
really
yeah.
did a lot with rock and roll too.
Torpedo,
Torpedo, yeah, he looks great.
Copperhead. I mean, that is a
Yeah,
great lineup right there.
yeah,
Those.
yeah. I can't imagine we would ever put on a stream from here on out that's better than that one. I just don't see how character-wise they could do it.
All right, so newest wave of Thundercats Super 7. This is the only one I pre-ordered because I already have this one. Remember the 2-pack we got?
Yeah, we have
Matty
the
Collector.
ones that Matty Collector did.
Yeah, so I mean that's good that the other people are going to be able to get her. Already have her, don't need her. These two, I do not need.
Yeah, I only ordered the
He was
top two.
original LGN Toyz, so I do want
Yeah,
him.
yeah, that's what I
the
did
only
too.
reason.
Yep, that's exactly what I did. I actually ordered the Wally Kit. I'll have this version of them too. But I don't even know who the other two were, honestly.
Well, I know they did a LJN toy of him, and we
Yeah,
know
I
her.
remember him.
I don't
Yeah, I
remember
don't know
this
who that is.
guy. It's probably some episode thing.
Probably in one episode.
This guy, I think he was in a couple.
Yeah,
I know he's one where
I've
there's
seen
a black
him. I
hole.
definitely have seen him. I couldn't remember his name, but I've seen him.
It's just he's not that important, you know.
Mm-mm.
It's not like it's Jackal Man or something, or you know.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm okay, like, at this point, after I get my the last few that I want, then it's just like Turtles, like, I think I'm done with Turtles unless they do, like, something that I don't see coming. But I'm kinda done with Thundercats, maybe 1 or 2 more, and I'm switching off to Silverhawks, and I'm gonna buy at least the 4 waves that they offer of Silverhawks.
Playmates new Ninja Turtles.
Nah, I'm not into that.
These look bad. There
Yeah, I
were
don't
people online praising these. They were like, "Oh man, yeah, they Playmate still has it," and I'm like,
no, man. Probably the last Turtles line that I'll collect would have been, the Super 7 stuff. I got some of that, but I'm probably done with most of that now. I did get the Ray Fillet and the Scratch, and that might be the end for me. Um, but after Nick Turtles, as far as like Playmate stuff, and even then I was frustrated because their villains were too small and they never gave the paint apps. I was sitting at home
yeah.
having to paint Tiger Claw. I remember having to paint Tiger Claw, and I was so frustrated because I don't want to. I can, but I like Tiger Claw, so I painted that one. And then after that, I was out. But they're never going to do a better turtle series than Nick Turtles. That's where I'm at, and
Nah, you don't want the
I don't
pudgy
need
April
any of
figure.
this stuff. I'm not getting any of this.
Like, you don't want that April. You already got the.
I just don't need it. Yeah.
Have
And
they
I'm
not
not the
already done
biggest
a
Turtles
Rat
person.
King? And see, I wouldn't care about any of the variant. There's a million turtle variants.
Yeah,
So, like, dude, you
like
ain't out
different
there trying to
themes and
collect all
stuff.
of them. And if you already have the original, like, blue hoodie, I think, Casey, then I don't know why you need that.
I'm with Art in the chat. I would get a pudgy April figure though. Yeah, me too. If she
Well, is
had
he
it
talking
going
about
on.
from the new movie where she looks like a sack of potatoes?
Oh no, I don't want that. I'm talking about like a Dakota April.
And like even this, like NECA's with Target's doing whatever NECAthon or holothon or whatever they're calling that. Uh, dude, I wasn't interested. I never saw any of these things in my Target,
I
and
finally saw. I think it was yesterday or the day before. I saw them finally. But I don't collect that stuff. But I saw them.
dude, I was just like, I look at them, I'm like, I don't need them.
Yeah, it's hard to keep up with all that stuff. I'm glad I'm not like a Super Turtles guy.
I basically, I got the turtles. I just want the main bad guys and good guys from the cartoon that I remember, the ones that I had toys of. Um, And if it ain't them, then I don't need it. Like I don't need another version of these guys either. And then that's the Mirage comic version. So if they had a regular version of him, I'd pick it up. But Randy, you never got into Turtles? Man, it was hot whenever it arrived. Man, it was on fire. Like it sent Hasbro and Mattel into panic.
Yep, that's why the GI Joes got all crazy colors. The '90s. I was out of stuff by then. Like I was reading the black and white Turtle comics, Eastman and Laird stuff. Like I was reading those, and I remember my art teacher in high school, his little kids had, I guess, like the first toys, and I remember seeing them, and I'm like, these are so like cartoony. And I remember then I watched the cartoon. I'm like, this isn't like the black and white comics that I read at all. But the world, most of the world, most of my friends, they all know turtles from the cartoons. They don't know them from the black and white comics because I'm usually the oldest in the group. So luckily, I've never been, I'll buy some of the turtles, like the Super 7 stuff. I bought some of those turtles. I like them. But I don't have a big turtles collection. God, thank God there's at least one thing I don't need all of. Because I feel like turtles is a hard thing to collect. There's what, three companies at least doing lots and lots and deep dive turtle stuff.
Yeah, well, and NECA was doing they were doing cartoon, movie, comic, and video game
Yeah,
at one
it's a
point.
lot.
Like yeah, and I was dabbling in all of them to where I was like I'm done with the movie stuff. Like I didn't even get April, and I'm not gonna get Kino or whatever his name is. Like I don't care, you know. And I'm trying to sell off the rest of my arcade ones and comic ones. Just have the tunes, but like even this guy, like the Rex, I don't need it. One, I hate having to try to search and find these damn things, and then second, they're expensive. 50-50 chance it's gonna break on you.
Yeah, it sucks that they have the gargoyles, but at least they look good.
Yeah, same with this. Like it's a black and white Usagi. Like already got other Usagi. I have no idea what this has to do with any of this. Um, and then comic, and then like these dudes or whatever for the toy cartoon series. Like I don't need any of that. And also having several NECA figures, I'm looking at the way that this foot leg is all put together with these joints and everything has it set on hind legs. That ain't gonna work. I can tell you that sucker's gonna be on the ground.
Yeah, I wouldn't. If you
Okay.
put those figures in front of me, I would have no idea what series or cartoon they go to.
Yeah, I don't even remember them.
Yeah, I would know him immediately just from the comics.
Yeah. He's a chunky boy. And then they came out with this thing. I guess it's a neat idea. If you're setting
Yeah.
up like
Like a
dioramas and
warp.
stuff like that.
Is it like a warp gate? What is that?
Yeah.
I can't remember. Okay.
So it's got like different slides or whatever that you can put in
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, that's cool for like Dio stuff. They should have some Dio stuff, as many figures as they have.
Now, here we go. Gargoyles, but it's still
I
NECA.
love gargoyle stuff. Every time they show one, I'm like, yep, give me next one. Yeah, I feel like this is going to be a nice line of figures.
It's a nice sculpt on her too.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I like that the wings are coming with everybody. You know, you get your Xanatos, you get your Demona wings, and you get her, and you get your Brooklyn wings. They're eventually going to give them to us. It's not perfect, but
Who
it's
had
kind
Goliath
of
wings?
is it
Yeah.
is it weird to you that this is a what a 1994, 95 show, something like that, and this is the first time since the original Toys that we're getting action figures. I think that's really weird because it's a very strong series.
Yeah, had a beginning, had an end.
It's super well done. It's back in the creator has a comic book now, and they started at the end of the series, and they're picking up from the end of the series. The 3 issues are out right now, and it's pretty good. I'm glad that the comic book came out right when NECA started to do the figures.
All right, do you remember these guys?
I do, but just because I was collecting toys and reading the magazines, and I've seen the toys.
My brother had a couple of these. It was one of those things where like birthday parties where like a kid would just some every once in a while there'd be, like mom would invite like the entire like my brother's friends, but
Yeah,
also the entire classroom. So there'd be people there that like he doesn't even talk to, but they're in his class. And
yeah.
then those kids would not ever come over to the house, so they'd have no idea what they were into.
What they
So
collect,
just
yeah.
like random toy, and that's how you end up getting biker mice from Mars. So, Nacelle Company, I believe the same company that's doing the Sectars, if I'm correct. Did it end? I stopped watching when they went from Disney afternoon to Saturday mornings on
Yeah,
ABC.
yeah. I know what he's talking about when they changed to that group that had the hammer icon. They were breaking them. I forget what they called them, but no, I mean the stories are picking up really from the end of what you remember, not from the short-lived ABC stuff.
I guess those look all right. I mean, I don't remember a whole lot about them. Uh, God, what are these called? SARS Zoke something.
No clue
Wow.
what this is.
Okay. Anyways, there you go. That's what they're called,
Oh
whatever
yeah,
that
I
name
know.
says.
Yeah, I've seen
The
these.
reason I
Sorry.
brought them up is because, like, if you're into dino saucers, then this is probably the best way that you could get something somewhat relatable. They only made like a couple Dino Saucer figures, and those things are expensive. I believe like most of them you have to get them from like Brazil or something like that. I think that's where they made them. And so, like, if you're a Dino Saucer fan and you wanted to pick up like, was it like 2, 3, maybe 4 figures that were ever made, I don't know if they ever came to the States, but I think you had to go to like get them like through eBay through Brazil, and they're like a couple $100 a piece. You know, they're expensive. But I remember watching that cartoon just a little bit. You know, they all had catchy songs.
Oh
for
yeah,
their intros.
Yeah, I was out of stuff, but I think the last catchy intro that I was into was Bionic 6. That was probably what, 88, 87, 88, 89, somewhere in there. I was on my way out. I was mostly into comics by then. But yeah, the best songs were Mask, Jason the Wheel Warriors. I like Bionic 6. I don't know. They were all G.I. Joe and Transformers, obviously. Visionaries I like too.
Yeah. There was a lot of oddball cartoons that like I would watch. I like if it came on, it was cartoon and it looked cool.
Yeah,
I would watch it. I don't care like
me
if it had
too.
been going on for a long time and I only caught an episode here and there. Like I'd watch it, like Skeleton Warriors or just anything that would
that
pop
was
on.
that was a good cartoon.
Silverhawks also had good songs.
I was just listening to that this week because the figures came out.
Marvel Legends is kind of dead, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, it's easy to cherry pick Marvel Legends now, which is fine with me. Don't make what I want. That's fine. I'm assuming most of this is modern Spider-Man comics, which I don't read. I haven't read in a long, long time.
Yeah, I don't need any of this. I mean, even the stuff that could cater to me, like we'll look at it in a second, like they're coming out with an Aunt May, and I'm like, I don't really care to own an Aunt May. But if I did, I don't want to have to buy another Doc Ock to get her.
That's right.
She's a 2-pack.
Yeah.
Like even if they were selling her by herself, I probably still wouldn't get her. But now, like I would have to buy a figure that I already have to get her. I'm like, dude, that's stupid.
Yeah.
Now, if you didn't have Doc Ock already, I mean, they've come out with
Then
them a few
maybe
times.
I would see her as like an accessory if you didn't have a Doc Ock. What's the difference? This Doc Ock had longer legs that you can actually. You don't need a like a stand for him. It looked like the legs would hold him up. Is that right? I thought I saw a picture where the legs were just holding him up, which is cool. If you're a Spider-Man comic book like aficionado, there's not many characters left that they have not done. There's a few, but not many. And some of them they've done 3 times.
Some of them they've done multiples.
Yeah.
You know who I haven't seen them do, maybe, or at least if my memory is correct, Madam Web.
Did they do her? I can't remember.
I mean, if they have it, it hasn't
It's
been
been a
for a few
it's been a
years,
long time ago. Yeah,
or at
I
least
feel like
since when I started collecting Marvel Legends, they
yeah,
haven't done a Madam Web since then.
yeah, yeah. She's probably due.
And I think my first Marvel Legends wave buy was like the Juggernaut wave. I think that was my first ever Marvel Legends wave, and I was like,
Yeah,
"Damn, are all the waves like this? Like this is what I've
yeah,
been missing?" Like
yeah. I've had so many, man. I had a lot of the Toy Biz. Like I probably had 99% of the Toy Biz. Most of them I've given to my kid though, and he'll play with them. He'll just go up and especially if he gets bored with something else, he'll just take out all the old Toy Biz Marvel Legends and play with them. And I'm like, that's fine. He still enjoys them. They've been doing them for years, man. If you look back on Toy Biz and where we are now, it's so many. It's like Star Wars. It's getting Star Wars deep.
they still won't give me the figure that I've been asking for though. Uh, Deathbird.
Oh yeah, she's got to be somewhere near now. Feels like they're going in that direction with the Starjammers and stuff like that. She's got to be on the short list.
And are they gonna do her right? Yeah.
Oh, she'll probably look good. Like the stuff that they've been doing lately is really good, especially like some of the deluxe stuff that they've been doing. I really thought that Mojo was just really good, and there's been a few that like deluxe things that they've done. And the sculpts on all the females, they do when they do the X-Men characters, they always look good.
They have really nice face sculpts.
They really do.
Rick, are you a Guardians of the Galaxy fan?
I like it. I'm not like crazy about it, but I like the first one and the first two movies.
I know it's an unpopular opinion, but when I watched both of them, I was like, I don't get it.
Yeah, it's a
I was
certain
like,
kind of
I like
humor.
it was like I grew up Spider-Man. Like I said this for years. As far as Marvel goes, all I care about is Spider-Man and
And
X-Men,
X-Men, yeah.
and I don't care about the rest of it. But I gave it a shot, and I watched them both, and I'm like, I think it's dumb.
You're not a big fan of the comedy mixed with Marvel has kind of set a tone with their comedy. Where DC, they set a tone where a lot of their movies, especially the Snyderverse, was kind of dark. But yeah, I
And
think I think
but
some people don't. You either like it or you don't. I don't think there's a lot of in betweens with James Gunn stuff.
and this is what brings me to like everyone's like, oh, James Gunn, he's gonna turn the DC around. I'm like, I don't like James Gunn's
I
stuff.
well, at
From
you know me
what I've seen, I'm like,
after
I don't like it.
I think he can do a good story, but my problem is more about like I really liked the Snyderverse stuff. Like I am a fan of that cast. Like
Yep.
I like the casting of Wonder Woman. I like Batman. I love I feel like Henry Cavill is Superman. Like there is no other Superman now. So unfortunately, I'm in the camp where I watched that Snyder cut, and honestly,
Oh, he's thinner.
if I never get another Justice League, I'm okay because that movie exists. It's 4 hours of exactly what I wanted. I loved it. So it's hard for me thinking that they're going to have to redo and cast another Superman. I mean, I know they do it all the time, but I'll
And
be
why
sad to
isn't
see it go.
Gal Gadot not gonna be Wonder Woman anymore? Like,
Do we? I don't. Is that a fact though? Is that? Do we know that's true yet? I don't. I don't
The
know.
the only one that I heard about was like he didn't want Henry Cavill or something. Like I'm like,
Yeah,
what happened there?
I don't know.
And Ben Affleck's like, I'm happy for whatever direction he wants to go in,
Yeah,
but I'm not gonna work with James Gunn.
yeah. I saw that.
Like,
Yeah,
there's your
I
Aunt
some,
May.
and I'll be honest, like, I'm so excited about this Flash movie and Michael Keaton being back after 34 years and the whole, like, I'm all about the hype. I hope it's a good movie, but I'll say this. If if it's the end of, where I call any of the movies from like the last, what, 10 years, the Snyder verse, because they're all kind of connected, to each other. Flash being part of it. So I think this is just my theory. Michael Keaton is the spoonful of sugar that we're being given because this is the last time we're going to see any of those actors that they casted that a lot of people liked in those movies. I think that Michael Keaton is the spoonful of sugar to make the medicine go down because I think after this it's just reset. Everything's reset. New Superman. They may keep Wonder Woman. I'm not sure about that one. I don't know if could they find a better Wonder Woman. I don't think they could
And
find a better.
Jason Momoa is a good Aquaman.
Look, dude, the casting that they had was spot on the money, and I didn't agree with Barry Allen at first,
No.
but then I watched the movie and I watched how I felt about the character in the Snyder cut, and it did it for me. Like I don't want anyone else. I don't care. I mean, I know I don't pay attention. What they do off screen, I don't care about. When I go into the movies, my brain goes into fiction mode. It doesn't matter to me, what they're doing behind the scenes. I just don't care. I go to see a movie. If he threw his grandma down the stairs, that's his business. Whatever. Hope she's okay.
But perform.
Exactly.
Art says DC should just do Elseworld movies that don't connect. Maybe down the road they can do an event movie where they connect and the best characters from those movies into one universe.
As long as they're good stories, man. I like the Joker movie. My wife, we watched it. I thought my wife would have liked it too. She did not like it, but I've watched the Joker movie like 6 times. Like I really something about that movie. I just liked it. I like a lot of the darker tone movies though.
I like the performance more than I like the movie. I,
Yeah, yeah. It
because when
was.
I
It just
watch it,
felt
I'm like, am
fresh.
I watching the Joker? You know,
Yeah, yeah. It's interesting. Even the Batman, I watched the movie and I liked it. I didn't buy any merchandise from it, which is really weird for me because usually, like Justice League, Keaton Batman, any of this, I've got merch somewhere in my house. But I enjoyed the movie, went to the theater, saw it in the theater, watched it at home, but I never need to own merch. I just thought it was okay story. It was okay.
yeah. Uh, Star Wars Black Series collectors, we
Oh
have to
Lord,
come together
good luck.
and we need to put an end to this carbonized and credit collection
Yes.
stuff.
Stop. Stop buying it. Even the prototype stuff too. I'll lump that in there too. You know what I'm
Yeah,
talking about with the crazy colors? They're not real
yeah,
prototypes, but
fake prototypes. Like
I
this
mean,
is
we all
carbonized collection. Here's the credit collection, and I'm like, just dude, just stop it
don't
with
buy
these
it.
things.
Yes. And we're two people that, have collected Star Wars for a while. And the Black Series, we were both completists at one point. I dropped off and then you dropped off not long after.
Those holiday edition things, dude, is
Yeah, that
I
was
was like,
that
I'm
was the
done.
final straw.
Someone was talking about. I think it was Randy and Art talking about Batmobile earlier when we were looking at Transformers. I don't know if they were just talking about Barricade. Looks like Batmobile or.
Oh yeah, yeah, I remember that. Yeah, McFarlane just with the vehicles this week. McFarlane just said, "Hold my beer," which I
Dude, the
love.
Batmobile was sold out everywhere.
I told you. I remember saying in our little chat it was going to sell out, and sure enough, yeah, man, people are hyped.
He'll make more.
Yeah, he probably will. I had no idea about the that he was doing the Batwing on the website. And when I saw it, and when I saw the price, I'm like 250, it's 35
Yeah, yeah.
inches by 27 inches. I
Like
had
people
no
can't do another one.
idea. I just didn't think he was going to do I didn't think he was going to make vehicles that big, but sure enough, he's like, I don't ca- I mean, he's doing the motorcycle, he's got the Batmobile, and he's doing the Batwing on his website because I guess the stores, you can't put a $250 item in the stores like you could maybe before, and it's so huge. I just like that he's doing it.
I don't know if I want to hang another Batwing from the sky. Doing this animated one, dude.
Did you see the Jazz Inc. one? That was $2,500. It
No,
just
I
sold
don't
out
think I
like a
did.
few weeks ago. But yeah, look that up after the show or something like that. It from what I understood, it's taking one of these 48-inch banquet tables, and you need two of them because it's kind of like a circle, and you need two of them back to back to be able to display it, or you have to mount it on your wall.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was like, just mount it on the wall.
It's the same size as like if you have a queen bed, it will go from almost one side to the next.
Jeez.
It's gigantic. I saw a few people who mounted it.
Well, I just have the animated 6-inch
Yeah,
scale one, and that sucker's huge, man.
yeah. I couldn't buy it. I ran out of space for that stuff. I didn't get the Batcave either.
Yeah, that's an animated series. I'm missing the Batcave, uh, Joker expression pack, and Harley expression pack, I believe.
I
That's
just
all I'm
like that
missing.
McFarlane is doing the vehicles and he's trying to put something out there, and people got excited about it.
Well, people will buy this Batmobile without even buying any figures.
Yeah, yeah, and at 22 inches, it's much easier to display than the Hot Toys too, and the price point. I think on was it on Amazon it was 60. Most places I think it was 70. I think on Amazon it was 59.99 before it sold out.
Art says they made the Batmobile too glossy. They should have made it a matte finish.
Probably, I bet it was
Yeah.
cheaper. Yeah, it's kind of unheard of. I mean, if you think about it, like look at the price points now and where McFarlane is. He's still McFarlane Toys. He's not Mattel or Hasbro, but he's really showing the other. I think he's showing some of the other companies up with what he's not afraid to do. And he's got his website. I've ordered from his website a few times now, and I haven't had any issues. So knock on wood. But I just
I
like that
mean,
he can
they're even
pivot.
showing it displayed on the wall.
Yeah.
It looks cool. It's expensive and takes up a lot of real estate.
Yeah, a lot of real estate.
I guess if I was to get it, I would have put it on this wall right there, since I don't have anything there.
Everything from what I saw, a lot of the ship dates are late April. but the movie doesn't come out until mid-June.
Oh, that's awesome that it comes with. So you mount this onto the wall, and then it slides on that. Dude, that's an awesome thing right there. I like that. Just got to find that stud.
I also like that they're coordinated enough to know everything that was in the trailer and everything that we're getting in late April. Even if it's off by a few weeks, it'll be in May, and then again the movie hits June 16th, 15th, something like that. So it seems like the communication with Warner Brothers, DC, and McFarlane, it seems like it's pretty good.
Oh, these statues. We're not looking at statues. Got a Titans wave.
Yeah, comic book stuff. Although I like the Nightwing figure that I have. There's one that came out, not the game one, but the one before that. It's a really good Nightwing. It's like the first version he did. That's my favorite one.
Is that latest season of Titans? Is the season over, or is there like a
I
part
I
two?
only watched I only watched the first 3 episodes, and it was really just not what I wanted, so I didn't finish it.
Okay,
I liked
I
the
can't
I
remember
liked
if
the
you
last season.
said it was
Whatever the
good or
last
bad. I
season
haven't
was,
watched it.
loved it. Yeah, I liked the previous seasons overall, but yeah, I think I made it to the 3rd episode.
Dude, I quit
Eventually,
watching
I'll
Young
watch it.
Justice. I couldn't watch the last season.
Yeah, it was that was hard to watch at times too, and a little disjointed for, like, casual fans.
Dude, the first couple seasons of Young Justice, though.
Yeah, they were easier for I think they were a lot easier for casual fans too, first 2 seasons. And then they concentrated on a lot of the smaller characters that, ended up getting a lot of story time by the end of it, but whenever they brought, like, Zatanna in, I was like, whenever they had an episode with, like, a favorite of mine, I would watch that episode. I like the demon Etrigan too. Anything with Etrigan or Zatanna, a
Yeah,
lot of the magic stuff seemed to be really good episodes when they had some of the magic
Clarion
guys.
too.
Yeah, Clarion's good too.
Like there's a lot, like at the beginning, man, there was a lot of good stuff to take from it, and like going deep into the Blue Beetle and stuff like that.
The Blue Beetle was another fun one. I want that new medieval Spawn. I still get I've been reading the comics still. When they rebooted and kind of they broke into 4 different books that come, you get 4 books monthly. I've been reading it, and medieval's in a ton of it. A lot of the early characters are in the books a lot, and then there's some new guys like this guy. There's a few new characters that are pretty cool.
It looks like something from Resident Evil or something.
The Gears of War.
Yeah, Lex Luthor.
I have a big shelf of these in one of the other rooms that isn't in the toy room, and it's kind of starting to take over because a lot of these figures are chunky. They take up a lot of space.
Oh, just a couple. What do they call them? Page punchers or whatever.
Uh, are they the small ones or the big ones? Because they do both, don't they? I never
I
know.
thought these are bigger ones.
I know there's a black mana that's coming out that's supposed to be, I think, like a 7-inch scale with the other stuff. I want the black mana. I also heard that they're doing the superpowers black manta for the first time. I'm definitely excited about that.
A couple 4 Horsemen figures. Dude, they look crazy, man.
They always look good. They still would fit well with the Masters of the Universe Classics figure line. You could put them on the same shelf and it would look good.
I mean, this is Manny Faces.
Yeah, that color
I mean,
palette.
even the armor and the different heads. Like you look at a beast, a robot, a human head. Like you can't look at that and with the armor and
Oh,
be
I
like,
know.
dude, that's Manny Faces.
Yeah,
She looks pretty cool.
yeah.
She looks like she could be a Destiny figure.
I wish that there would be like a new fiction that we've never watched, we've never heard of, and the Four Horsemen did all the sculpts and all the toys for it. You know, like a really good story that's fresh. It didn't come out of the 80s or the 90s. You know, something we've never seen before, but everybody was into. And I wish they would get to do the figures instead of like, you know, Hasbro, Mattel, Playmates.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Mondo Trapjaw. I ordered this one.
Oh,
I
you
only
did?
have a
I was
few.
about to ask if you got this
I
or not.
I almost didn't. Like I got my merman, you know, I got my scare glows and Trapjaw and Web Store, they're the other two. Like for me, like those are
Dude, I
kind of like
love
the
Web
key
Store.
villains. Me too.
Web Store
And
and
just
Stinkor are two of my
can,
favorites.
can you imagine what Web Store is going to look like coming out of Mondo though? Like I'm not going to be able to say no to it. There's no way I'm going to be able to say no to it. I just My merman is one of my favorite things that I've bought that's Masters of the Universe probably since Snake Mountain. Like that's how much I like that Mondo merman. It's just so good. And I think this one looks pretty good. There's a few places on him that I think are a little overdone. I don't really care for the loin piece that hangs down so low. I'm not crazy about that, but I like the arms and the mechanics. I like that all the stuff fits on his back and his waist. I'm just
That's a
not
lot of
crazy. I like
stuff.
the belt. The belt is classic, but the little piece that hangs down over his crotch, I'm not crazy about that for some reason. I don't know why.
And you got a few Bad
Oh,
Batch.
these look good.
Because you've been buying these, right? So
Yeah, I have the Echo and the Hunter so far, and I have these three, these two in Crosshair on order. I'm going to try to get the core group. I will say, because I don't think we've talked about it on the show, I'm not crazy about season 3 of Bad Batch.
I haven't started watching yet. I was waiting for it
Oh,
to
you
end.
have to let me know once it ends and you watch it. Let me know what you think. We'll see how it goes.
As soon as
I
the
know
finale goes up, I'll watch it all that work week. Like,
there's a few good episodes, but I don't feel like it's consistently awesome like it has been before. And I have a feeling it's going to finish strong, but just it's that for me it's the weakest season so far. Their armor and stuff just looks good. As a team, they really look good. Even the Black Series look good together.
yeah, I'm happy with the Black Series ones.
They're well done. like on a shelf, they look great.
Whew. Ugh. Dude, I'm getting tired, man. Been up for 26 hours now.
Oh God.
Yeah, dude. As I get older, man, it gets rougher.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Daredevil. I don't like that armor.
Yeah, this is like almost like the Origin armor.
Yeah.
I was never crazy about the Origin armor either. Like where the comic book started, I was never crazy about that color palette. I had the first Hot Toys version, when he was still part of Netflix or whatever,
Yeah.
but I sold that last year. And eventually they're probably gonna he'll come back to like the red, traditional red. I feel like this figure, people are probably gonna skip it, and it's probably gonna end up on the aftermarket being worth something.
And then lastly,
And yeah,
Mandalorian.
they're doing
So,
another version of that, but they already did one version. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not buying it again. I mean, he's cool, but I don't need two of them. I've been buying the Mandos like as they come out with the different armors and the different Grogu's and stuff. I've actually been buying all of them, but I don't need two Paz Vizslas. He's a big boy too. He takes up like 2 spots instead of just one.
all right. So just at 2 hours. Don't really like to go past that. But try to be back in 2 weeks. We'll have to see, who we'll have on or not. See if I can be able to get Rick back on. I don't know if we'll be busy or not, but I'll let you guys know on Twitter and YouTube. I usually try to put a message in there, like if we're not going to be able to do it, that day or something. I'll say like, hey, we'll try next week or something like that. So either through YouTube or Twitter, I'll let you guys know. But we'll try for like 2 weeks from now. Do it again Saturday, 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. But like I said, if not, try to let you guys know. So let's go ahead and sign out because, man, I'm going to go to bed.
Yeah.
So,
You
Rick,
guys
where
can,
can people find you?
yeah, you can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Shatrdglassjazz.
All right, and you can find me, G1Xtron, on Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram. So thanks a lot for watching, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Peace.